Hello children, I hope you are all doing extremely well. Today we will see about the chapter 1, that is crop production and management. In this we will see about the agricultural practices involved in crop production. So before we'll go on to this crop production, we'll see why food is necessary. Yeah, food of course is necessary for all living organisms. And the production of food on a larger scale is said to be anything on a large scale is said to be a crop, and we are going to see the agricultural practices involved in crop production. So we will give the introduction. Okay, all living organisms need food, that you know. All living organisms, they need food. Without food they cannot survive. Plants can prepare their own food, that you know very well, by a process called photosynthesis. They can prepare their own food with the help of sunlight, carbon dioxide, and the green pigment chlorophyll. So, and you can see the plants, variety of plants which can prepare their own food. Here you can see the germination of a tiny plant with a small leaflets, and all these can prepare their own food. Then animals cannot prepare their own food. So animals cannot prepare. So they depend upon the plants or other animals for their food. So this is the thing. So why do we have to eat food? All living organisms, including human beings, why we have to eat food? That is very important. See, by eating food we get energy. Only if you eat you get energy, and this energy is utilized by our body for carrying out the other functions such as water, digestion, respiration, excretion. So we get food from both plants or animals, we human beings. So in order to provide food for the population, it has to be produced. The food has to be produced on a large scale. So producing food on a large scale, some precautions has to be taken for the production of food. What are the precautions? Regular production. It should be on a regular basis. Proper management and distribution of food is necessary. All these are involved for food production on a larger scale. Okay, we'll see the agricultural practices. Okay, we'll see now the agricultural practices. What are the agricultural practices? I already said, when plants of the same kind are grown and cultivated at one place on a large scale, it is called a crop. It is called a crop. Anything, it can be a crop of wheat. See, this is a crop. It can be a crop of paddy, crop of wheat, anything, any plant on a large scale, it is said to be a crop. Okay, it can be a crop of paddy, crop of maize, whatever. Anything cultivated at one place on a large scale is said to be a crop. Crops are of different types. It can be a cereal, it can be a vegetable, it can be a fruit. Anything on a large scale comes up, it's called a crop. And they can be classified on the basis of the season in which they grow. Here you can see a picture. Potatoes are there, chilies, corn, maize, all are grown on a large scale depending upon the climatic conditions and different seasons. So anything, cereal, vegetable, fruits, anything, it can on a large scale means it's a crop. Our country is a vast country, the climatic conditions vary from one region to another region in our country. The climatic conditions like temperature, humidity and rainfall vary from one region to another. So there is a rich variety of crop grown in different parts of our country. And cropping pattern can be classified into two categories. First one is kharif crops. Here you can see the picture. Kharif crops which are sown in the rainy season. All these crops in the picture you can see all these things which are sown in the rainy season. In India it is from June to September. It varies. Okay, it's in India, in our country it is from June to September, and these are examples for Kharif crops. Okay, they are sown in the rainy season. Paddy, maize, soybean, sugarcane, all these are Kharif crops. This is one of the cropping pattern. And another is rabi crops. These crops are sown in the winter season. That is from March, okay, October to March. Here you can see the wheat, gram, pea, chickpea, all mustard. They are all sown in the winter season. Besides these, pulses, vegetables are grown during summer season at many places. It all depends upon the climatic conditions. Okay, pulses or the lentils, and vegetables are grown during summer season at many places. Okay, basic practices of crop production. We'll see about basic practices of crop production. Cultivation of crops involves several activities which are taken by the farmers. Okay, these activities are referred as agricultural practices. They are given, a list of activities are given in your book. That is preparation of soil, sowing, adding manure and fertilizers, irrigation, protecting from weeds, harvesting, storage. All these we are going to discuss one by one, but today we'll see about preparation of soil and sowing. Okay, preparation of soil. This is the first step before growing a crop. You know very well, we have to prepare the soil. We have to see whether the soil is in good condition, it's rich in manure, it's rich in nutrients, everything. So important task in agriculture is to prepare the soil. That is nothing but to turn the soil and loosen it. Okay, we have to loosen the soil particles, and by doing like this allows the roots to penetrate deep into the soil. The loose soil allows the roots to breathe easily when they go deep into the soil. Loose soil is very important because loose soil, the soil particles are very loose. In between they have air spaces, so they will give the plants to breathe, the roots to breathe easily. So that is a important thing in loose soil. In between you have air spaces which are essential for the roots to penetrate easily down deep into the soil. And the loosened soil helps in the growth of earthworms and microorganisms. They are all friends of the farmer's friend, you know, earthworms, since they turn and loosen the soil and they add humus, manure to the soil. They enrich the soil. Okay, then the question is, why the soil has to be turned and loosened? See, it has to be. Why? Because you know very well the soil contains minerals, water, air, and some living organisms. In addition to that, dead plants and animals get decomposed by the microbes present in the soil, and various nutrients held in the dead organisms are again released back into the soil. These nutrients then again absorbed by the plants. Okay, but since only a few centimeters of the top layer of the soil, this is tilling. See, I said in the preparation of the soil, tilling is very important. The loosening and tilling the soil is very important. It's called tilling or ploughing. This is done by using a plough. That we'll see later how it is done by a plough, the parts and all. This is what tilling. They are tilling the soil. Okay, and why it is necessary to till the soil means, this is I said only a few centimeters of the top layer of the soil supports plant growth. This is the top layer of the soil. Okay, that only supports plant growth. So turning and loosening of soil brings the nutrients and rich soil to the top. So that is very, very important. It brings the nutrient rich soil to the top, so that the plant can use these nutrients. So it is very important to till the soil. Okay. The process of loosening and turning of the soil is called tilling or ploughing. This is done by using a plough. Okay. Plough. This is what a plough. Okay. It is made up of wood. Actually, this is made up of wood, or sometimes it is made up of iron also. Okay. This is done by using a plough. If the soil is very dry, it needs watering before ploughing. That they will do. Okay. And the ploughed field may have big pieces of soil called crumbs. Okay, big pieces like this. I'll show a picture like this. Even after ploughing, big pieces of the soil known as called the crumbs, it is necessary to break these crumbs with a plank. This is the plank. Okay, it is used to break the big pieces of soil. Then after breaking all these big pieces, the field is leveled for sowing as well as for irrigational purposes. Okay, it is done by an equipment. That's also we'll see in the picture. It is known as a leveler. Okay, the field is leveled by this. Sometimes manure is added to the soil before tilling. If they feel the soil is very rich in, less in nutrients. So proper mixing of the soil, okay, and the manure is very, very important. And sometimes the soil is watered before sowing. Okay, and we'll see now the agricultural implements. What are the agricultural implements? That is plough. First of all, plough. We'll see this. See, we have to break the soil to the size of grains. It's very small. It can be done only by some of the tools, agricultural tools or agricultural implements. It can be done by plough, hoe and cultivator. First of all, we'll see about plough. Here in your book, it is given actually a picture of the plough, the parts that we'll see. And again, one more picture also I'll show you. You can see now how it is done. A pair of bull. It is used for tilling and adding fertilizers to crop, removing weeds, etc. It is made of wood. You can see the wood there, and is drawn by a pair of bulls, as I said, or sometimes by other animals such as horses, camels, etc. It all depends upon whichever animal is familiar in the particular state, they use it. It contains a strong triangular iron strip known as the ploughshare. You can see the iron strip, ploughshare. And the main part of the plough is a long log of wood which is called a plough shaft. That one, the main part. And there is a handle at one end of the shaft, and the other end is attached to a beam on which is placed on the bull's neck. This is placed on the bull's neck. Okay. And one more picture I will show. You can see that picture also. This is how they plough the field with a pair of bull. The same, the plough. You can see the plough shaft, ploughshare, and the beam that is attached to a beam which is placed on the bull's neck. Okay. Then the next tool is hoe. This is you can see your book also. Hoe. Here they have given very well. It is a simple tool which is used for removing weeds and for loosening the soil. That man is doing in the picture, and this is what the thing. It has a long rod of wood. Sometimes it can be iron also. A strong, broad and bent plate of iron is fixed to one of the ends. Bent. This is okay, and it works like a blade, and it's pulled by the animals. Then we'll see the cultivator. This one, same thing. Ploughing is done by a tractor driven cultivator. It serves time and labor. This is what a cultivator, by machine, by tractor. Then we'll see the next one. This is what preparation of soil. Next we'll see sowing. Sowing. You know very well sowing. Before sowing, what has to be done? Good quality seeds are selected. See, good quality seeds. A farmer needs clean and healthy seeds. Farmer prefers seeds which give them a very high yield, but anyway they need very clean and healthy seeds. How to find out? See, in a water, if you just drop a handful of seeds, the damaged ones will float because inside nothing will be there, it will be hollow, so they will float. The good seeds will sink. So good seeds, we can just distinguish a damaged seed from a good seed. And before sowing also, or for sowing, tools used for sowing seeds. Okay, we'll see the traditional one is given in the book also. The same thing. One more picture. This is what the traditional tool. We'll see that. Okay, traditional tool is shaped like a this is a traditional method of sowing. You can see the funnel here. Okay, shaped like a funnel, and the seeds are filled in. The seeds are put in the funnel, and it passed down through 2 or 3 pipes. Here you can see the pipe having very sharp ends. Inside will be having sharp ends, and these ends pierce into the soil and place the seed there. This is done by a pair of ox. So this is the traditional method of sowing. You can see how they are just filling the seeds in the funnel. It goes down. Okay, with the help of the sharp, it pierces the soil, and the seeds are and places the seeds there. It pierces into the soil and places the seed there. And this is a traditional method. Modern method, that is seed drill. Okay, this is seed drill. It is used for sowing with the help of tractors, and the tool sows the seeds uniformly at proper distances. Okay, and proper distances and depth. It ensures that seeds get covered by the soil after sowing. It has to, because seeds has to be covered after sowing, and saves time and labor. Of course, it's machine thing, so it will be appropriate and it's good. And an appropriate distance between the seeds is very important to avoid overcrowding of plants. This allows, why there should not be overcrowding? If it it should not be overcrowding, because this allows plants to get sufficient sunlight, nutrients, and water from the soil. Okay, sometimes it's overcrowded. The plants will not get sufficient sunlight, nutrients, it will die. Sometimes a few plants have to be removed to prevent overcrowding. If all farmers, if at all they feel if it's too much overcrowding, they will just remove some of the plants in between. Then only the other plants will get sufficient sunlight, nutrients, and water. So this is what today we have seen about this preparation of soil and sowing. The next class we'll see the next agricultural practices. Okay, thank you children, have a good day.